Hi, I'm Country Carrie, and today I thought it would be a good idea for me to teach you how to cut up a chicken. So when I very first got married, this is something that my mom taught me how to do because you can buy chickens cheaper in the stores as whole chickens. And then also, if you're growing your own meat chickens, you're going to want to know how to cut them up as well. So this is just one that I've purchased from the store. Even though we've done meat chickens before, I don't plan on doing them this year, so I wanted to teach you how. So I first washed it and I took out the different parts in the chicken. So there is the liver and the neck, and my mom used to call these little harder parts giblets, I think. So these parts, not only am I going to cut up this chicken to use as meat for dinner, but since there's just my husband and I right now, I'm going to also make some chicken stock. And so as I cut some of the pieces up, we're going to put them in this crock pot, and then I'll put it on and let it do its thing and cook the chicken meat that we're going to use for stock. So one thing to note is the liver. You do not put when you're in with your chicken stock, or you don't use it when you're making gravy. You can give it to your animals, your dog, your cat. They will eat it. So I'm already gonna, I already washed these, so I'm gonna put the neck, the giblets, I believe there's what they're called, inside the water to become soup stock. So as you notice, this chicken has its legs and the wings. What I'm going to do first is cut off the legs. What I find works best is if you have a serrated edge knife. It's been a while since I've cut a chicken up. Okay, then once you get it cut open, you break it where the bone is on the leg. Kind of break it open, and that's where you can cut the leg apart. And there's like the ball joint above the bone. You can just cut around that. Okay, so then you end up with your piece of leg meat. And I've already washed this, so I'm going to just stick that in. I'll try to hurry and do the other one. Like I say, you just cut that skin. And I cut the skin right here too. Now when you're using knives, you need to be careful and cut away from you so you don't cut you. And then you break it, snap it kind of at the ball joint. My mom was a checker for Albertsons for years and years. And for a little while, she was a meat cutter. So I think that's why she wanted to teach me how to do this. When I was first married, it bothered me to touch a dead chicken and cut it up. So I would cut them up. I'd buy a few, cut them up, put them in the freezer, and then after a couple weeks, I'd get them back out and be fine with them. So all of this living the country life is a process. So if you're not comfortable with it at first, don't fret. Okay, so I have my other leg. Now here's the wings. Now what I do is right here where it's kind of fanned, I cut that. And again, I kind of pop the bone so I can cut it. If you have a real good knife, I'm sure you could just cut through the bone. Wings are actually one of my favorite pieces of meat. So if I were to cook this as fried chicken, I would cut this little end piece off, this little pointed end. But where I'm just going to use it for stock, I'm just going to also put this inside my crock pot. Then we'll do the other side. It's a good idea actually to cook some chicken stock because it's so flavorful once I add my vegetables with it and some salt and pepper. Okay, here's the second wing. And then you can use your chicken stock to make gravy, to make soups. And then you can also, the meat that you take out of the crock pot, you can use for soups, salads, sandwiches. Anyway, so this is another good way to use it. But for me, I just want to teach you how to, for me today, I just want to teach you how to cut up a chicken and use the breasts is what I'm going to use for dinner. So inside, let me just show you. See, I don't know if you can tell here, but inside here is the rib cage, and they're connected together, and I'm just cutting right in the middle of them to disconnect them. And it's connecting the breast to the thigh pieces. It's kind of interesting to see the inside of the chicken, just to kind of figure out its anatomy a little bit more. Like right here, you can see that is where the neck was connected. Okay, so right in the middle, this is where like the upper legs are, and here's the back. You can actually snap this in half. Now when I'm using this piece and it's kind of curved up, if I'm frying this, I will actually go like this and snap the bones so that when it's in the pan, it will fry better than curved. So I'll stick this in my pot. Okay. Now inside the cavities here, you can see it's some blood. If you would feel more comfortable, you can just take your thumb, clean that out. And I'm sure that's something you don't need to do. Okay, so I'm going to add this in. So right here now I have is this huge breast. Now for our family, we try to eat a little healthier, so I don't even leave the skins on. I take the skin off. I left the skins on for the chicken that's gonna become stock to add more flavor. And once I get my stock all cooked and I put it in the fridge, and after I get my stock cooked, and then I take the meat and the vegetables out and put it in a jar, then the fat will actually rise to the surface. And then I can actually, right before I use it, I can discard that fat. And yeah, so here's the fat from the chicken breast. I'm just gonna put that in a sack and then throw that in the garbage. Now I have this big, huge double breast right here. So what I want to do is cut that down the middle, right down here, and make that into 2 breasts. Now be careful again, using knives. It's not saving you money if you're making a trip to the emergency room, cutting yourself, so you need to be very careful. I don't know if you just heard that, but the bone just split. Okay, so there's one really nice big breast. And here's the other one. Something that I like to do when I'm cooking them is I like to sprinkle seasonal on them. Put them in the fridge for the day. Like in the morning, I'll sprinkle seasonal on them. And then I'll take some flour and on a plate and brown them, or flour them, and then I'll brown them first in the pan. And then after they're browned, I'll stick them in a buttered dish, and I'll cut up some onions, put them on top, put a little bit of butter down at the bottom and just a little bit of moisture, put the lid on, and cook them in the oven till they're done. And that is a wonderful way to cook chicken breast. Now these are kind of big, so you could tell that they will need a little bit more time. Yes, you can brown them and then you stick them in the oven to finish baking. You can even use your meat thermometer to double check it if you would like. But this is an easy way to cut up your chickens. Like I say, you can either buy whole chickens at the store, or you can raise your own meat chickens, which is an interesting opportunity. And what happened when we did it is, instead of plucking all those chicken feathers, since I don't like eating the skins, we just pulled the skins off, and it was really quick. Okay, now before I let you go, let's go back to this soup stock that I'm making in my crock pot. So now I have pieces of chicken. I'm gonna add some carrots, about a carrot worth, depending on what size, about a medium carrot. I'm gonna add some celery, some onion, which just came out of my root cellar, which I need to show you as well. And with the onions, one tip also is I did not need the whole onion for this. I just need half of one. So I chopped up the whole onion. I then put it in a sandwich bag, and then I put it in a freezer bag. And I'll freeze this, and then as I'm cooking something else, if I need an onion, it's just ready to use. And the double bagged helps my freezer not to be so smelly. Anyway, one last thing I want to add to this moisture, to this pot, is I have a little bit of regular salt, and I put some seasoned salt in it because I like how that goes with chicken, and some whole peppercorns. And that's okay because I am going to when I get done with this stock, I'm actually going to take the vegetables and the peppercorn out, as well as the chicken meat. If I were making this just for a soup, for us to enjoy as a family, I would still, once the meat's done, I would pull the chicken out and I would bone it and then put it back in. Get rid of the skins and the bone. So this looks really yummy. I don't know if I can show it to you without pouring it out. Maybe not, but it does look really yummy. And I'm going to put it in my crock pot for about 5 hours, and yeah, it's a good way to use up my whole chicken. Anyway, if you like this, I hope you will give me a thumbs up. You're welcome to share this with your friends. I'm doing these so that you can learn how to be more self-sufficient and how to live the country life. And if you want to see what's coming up next, be sure and subscribe so you'll get it. Have a great day and enjoy your chicken.